Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Choice, Change and Action podcast. Woo! The crowd goes wild. We've got jazz hands. You can see the jazz hands if you're watching on my YouTube channel. David, jazz hands.
Yes,
Show me some
jazz
jazz hands.
Hello,
Yes,
everyone. I'm so happy to be your guest again
So
on my favorite
I have David Kubes here, who is definitely a regular on my podcast and a regular in my life. I'm going to say he is one of my best mates. Actually, David, I was describing this to Gary the other day. I think there was like 5 or 6 people, and I said these are the people who I guess for me it's like having that 5 elements of intimacy, like that trust, honor, gratitude, allowance, and vulnerability with, and the people who I am so grateful for that I can go, hey, I'm weird, I'm funky, I'm whatever, I'm not me, basically. Can you help me? And not having somebody who aligns and agrees with me, but actually asks me a question and helps me shift whatever it is that's going on. And so you are definitely one of those people, David. Besides the fact of having a hell of a lot of fun, you're also one of my favorite travel buddies. As we travel around the world and explore different things. And we're going to have in the show notes too, there's a membership that David has now. It's called Travel Like David. And it's like $10 a month. And you join this Telegram thread. And David is one of the people who has helped me so much discover and explore the variations of how you can travel around the world. Because most of us put it into a category of what I can afford and what I can't afford. And yet it's not. There's a lot of tricks to the trade, let's just say. So if you join that, that'll be in the subscription notes. So don't forget to subscribe to the notes and $10 a month. And, live your life vicariously through David traveling. Or what if you just actually started to choose something different? So, but which is sort of a theme here too, because we're on here to talk about wealth and riches. David and myself and Shannon O'Hara have a Right Riches for You facilitators training coming up in Vienna, Austria. And, you have to be a certified facilitator of access consciousness to come along to that class. And there's a bunch of prerequisites as well. And we have, right off the gate, I'll tell you, we have Right Riches for You intermediate class occurring within a week when this goes live, which is one of the prerequisites to coming to the class. So if you're interested in that, please, look at the subscription notes as well. So, and a bunch of people were asking us questions, and I said, let's do a podcast, because David and I, we were just talking before we clicked record. We have weird ass moments as well. We have really funky moments about money as well. But the thing is, we use the tools, right? And we don't sit in it. Sometimes I sit in it longer than I would like. That might be a day. Like my yesterday was pretty shitty. And I was so tired. And I was saying to a friend of mine, people get hangry when they get hungry and then so they get angry. They call it hangry. I don't. If I'm hungry, I'm just hungry. But if I'm tired, oof, everything is like, the smallest of things turns into a massive mountain. And it's not just one mountain. It's like, the Himalayas and everything is hard work. And yesterday, I just kept going just to get through the next thing, because I had all these errands. But I was also getting funky about money. And I woke up this morning and I was talking about this on my Profit Club, which you can join the Profit Club, $28 a month for 2 calls. I woke up this morning and I had this massive stiffness and soreness in my back, which has occurred about 3 times in my life. And once I ended up in hospital. And I went, holy shit, I'm creating this angst in my body about finances and money. I need to change it. So I did. I lay on my bed for an extra 30 minutes and did an energy pull and really asked the universe to contribute to me, etc., and change it. And it's, David was just saying before we started here too, people come to these classes or come on here or talk to myself or David and they want an answer. We don't have an answer. We have tools and processes and questions to ask you. You are the one that has to access the change for you. We've so got your back, but you have to access this for you. It's not about looking at somebody else for an answer. It's knowing that you can change it. So with that, little wide opening intro I did, David, do you have anything to add to that piece?
Well, yes. First of all, thank you, Simone. I truly adore you and honor you for the person you are in my life. It's always such a pleasure. Thank you. Especially when there are those moments. Yeah, you said it. It's not always easy in our lives. But that's probably the big difference I would like to talk about. Ease and easy is different, because easy is there's nothing going on, and ease is that you are able and willing to handle anything, even financial things that don't go as well or that put you into a very stressful situation. But what I would like to invite you to is to not look for a solution and to not ask for an answer. Please ask for the tools to use, because if you have the tools, you can apply them always, anywhere, at any time. And I think this is what we are actually doing. And one of my tool is call Simone. Because I know
Not everybody can have that tool though.
yeah, but you can have someone in your life that is asking you a
Yeah.
question or is sending you a process. And I honestly, I have to say that at the beginning, I always thought, wait a minute, I need to find a solution. I need to handle this, and then I will have time and sit down and run the clearings, and then I will listen to classes. I started flipping it. I'm so done with finding solutions. I I literally go to using the tools, and if it's just a simple clearing, if it is just a simple question, or if it's just a reminder, wait a minute, where's the magic that I used to be? Where is the magic that I know that I can be? It, for many people, it sounds not significant enough. This is not complicated enough, but that's the biggest lie. Life doesn't have to be complicated, because magic and miracles are not based on complication. They're based on relaxation.
Wow, that's brilliant. You guys, you need to listen to what he just said. That was like a mic drop. Okay. And we always swing towards choosing, including myself and David. Like, we're not saying that we're like, whoa, these rainbows and unicorns. No, we also choose crap for a second, but we also get out of it. And I love the way you said call Simone, because so often when one of us calls the other one, it's almost like we're just talking, like we go da 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 da, and then you just talk it out. And then, because you've done that with me with stuff that's going on. And then I remember walking up and down my veranda at Alugar, and you were talking to me about what was going on in your life, but you talked out all these different scenarios. And then I was like, yep, okay. And I asked you a couple of questions, and then you're like, oh yeah. But you'd actually come to like this awareness yourself. And we're not looking at each other to give me an answer. You're the one that knows more than me. No, nobody knows more than you. Nobody knows more than you what is correct for you, what is going to make your life greater, what is going to create more ease in your life, what is going to have more joy in your life. And I want to say, everywhere that you are avoiding the ease, joy, and glory that could be your life and living, will you destroy and uncreate it times a godzillion?
Right, wrong, good, bad, but POC, all 100 shorts, boys, poets, spaces, creations, and beyonds. And I wouldn't even go into avoiding. Avoiding is something, and it seems like, no, we are intentionally doing it. Take it further, where you're not even have it in the universe that it would be a possibility, where you have just not included that as a possibility. We're not avoiding it to harm ourselves financially. We just think that's not an option. We think, no, this is too easy. We are so trained and hardwired by this reality that we literally stopped seeing that as a possibility. It's not even no, I'm avoiding this because I don't want it. No, you have no clue that it exists. Something like that. It's just hidden behind that hardwired wall from this reality, that we're simply not aware of it.
So let's talk about hardwiring for a second, because you mentioned that twice. And by the way, the clearing statement that we just used, you can go to theclearingstatement.com and find out more about it if this is brand new to you. It's absolutely amazing, and it works. And is it weird? Absolutely, but it works. Okay, try it. If it makes you feel lighter, choose it. Okay, don't trust me, don't trust David, trust you. That is one aspect that we really would like to get through to you today too, is you have to trust you. And how many of you have this? Like, one of the tools that we came up with recently is the hardwiring. It's like, how many of you are hardwired to always function from poverty and scarcity, or you're hardwired to not earn more money than anybody else in your family? You're hardwired to struggle. Like in Australia, and I know it's not just Australia, but we have something called the tall poppy syndrome, where is if you become really successful, especially quickly, then everybody sort of cuts you down because you became successful too quickly and too easy, right? And I mean, it sounds, when you say it out loud, it sounds so cruel. It pretty much is. Like, nobody's actually grateful that you become successful. But here's the thing, how many of you are hardwired to struggle to have success so that you can show that you put in a lot of hard work and you had these years of struggle so that you can actually receive the success? That's all this hardwiring energy. So everywhere that you are hardwired in regards to money and finances and wealth, will you please destroy and uncreate it times a godzillion?
Right, wrong, good, bad, but POC, all 100 shorts, boys, poets, bases, creations, and beyonds. And what I found out with this hardwiring amazing conversation, I was so hardwired into it can't be that easy. Otherwise, it has no value. If you don't put a lot of hard work into it, it has no value. Changing that point of view gave me so much freedom. I'm not done yet because I literally perceive how it flushes in from left, right, and center all the time, where I catch myself, wait a minute, do I really enjoy working hard? So I allow myself to receive what I was working so hard for. And I'm just looking at that. What if life could be that easy? And please,
So
easy does you don't do anything with it. Just as a little
ease.
side note here, it's ease, okay?
Well, let me tell a story, which is, and this is how I saw this, right? Is you and I, you were so kind. You actually, with your points on Lufthansa, you bought me a first class ticket and we flew to Saudi, right? To Riyadh, where we had a business done different class. So we're in first class Lufthansa, and it's just absolutely beautiful plane. It's just wonderful, and the way they treat you, etc. I mean, the Germans, of course, everything is very precise and it's wonderful. So we've got our seats next to each other, and it's a daytime flight, and you know, I'm drinking this beautiful champagne, and David's having champagne, and then he gets his computer out and he starts, working and looking at these different projects that we were working on. And I was watching movies and then having more wine and having some beautiful food and getting a little tipsy on the plane on my way to Riyadh, which by the way is sound like I said rehab. I wasn't going to rehab. Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, which is dry. Okay, so the whole of Saudi is dry. So I do think I was like, somewhere in my world, I was like, have another glass of wine because you're not going to be able to have one for the next 10 days. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. But here's the thing: you said to me, you were working on this project, and you went, I love being able to do this and finding the solutions. And we had a small conversation on there, and it was like, if you didn't have to find a solution, what else could you be creating and what else could you be choosing? So I love at the beginning here, because you and I have had a lot of conversations about this, because you're very good at finding solutions. I've been very good at finding solutions. And sometimes I'm like, I don't really know what to do next. If I'm not finding a solution, then what else? And you and I have really put the work in to ask that question and to discover what else is beyond finding a solution. So I love that. Like, how much of your time have you filled up by finding, seeking, and looking for solutions that keeps you from the magic and the miracles that the universe has to offer and is just there, like so willing to be available for us. And yet we make something else, like we're hardwired to make, finding this result or this solution, etc., to be more important than actually receiving, as you said right at the beginning, David, from relaxation.
Yeah, and this is what finally somehow landed in my universe. I always gave me finding the solution the value of others. If I don't find the solution, I have no value. Or why would you hire me if I don't find the solution? But I learned, I literally perceived or allowed myself to stop trying to find the solution, but being ready so that the possibility finds me. That's a
I love
with
that. What possibilities are reaching out and seeking you, and you're refusing them?
because the way it works is, no, you don't stop working and sleeping all day. This is not creating with ease. No, when you create from relaxation and stop finding a solution, you actually allow the possibilities to find you, and you will get the pings. And then yes, sometimes it requires you to do a little calculation on access, or to make a phone call, to go to a photo shoot, and it includes the doing. But as a, I don't want to say as a result of, but as an impulse of the information that you got, not you trying to figure out what next. It's literally a 360 turn flip around from doing to relaxation and solution to possibility. And it's somehow, like this big
Well, we could
universe.
also, because sometimes you get caught up a lot on doing, like people get caught up on doing. I do too.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
what the tools that I use too is, what action do I need to take today? And this podcast is called Choice, Change, and Action. So if you flip the doing to, and is there action required today? Because we tend to go, oh, I've got to do, rather than what action is required? Where is my energy required today? So if you flip it and also ask, what can I be in regards to this?
And what if the action to take is to do nothing? Because sometimes things just need some time to rest, or to create, or to digest, or whatever. Leave it where it is. You're not taking energy out, but you're taking the action of not doing, meaning you think it's space.
But also, I mentioned yesterday was a really interesting day for me, and I chose it, and I did get a lot of things accomplished, I will say. I was super tired the night before. I just did not sleep. And today, I'm very grateful that I accomplished all those things yesterday, because it makes my day easier today. And basically, there's a few things that I could handle, but I was like, no, I've got my Profit Club. I've got this podcast. I'm going to pack. I think I'm going to bake cookies, because it always makes me happy. And I can give some when we go on the plane tomorrow. And then I've got, well, I'm going out to dinner with you and a couple of friends tonight. And I realized today has to be about me. Like, it has to be about me and my body today. I'm probably going to have a sauna. I might even have a magnesium bath later, something like this. But it has to be about me today, and not from this necessity, from choosing that, so I can be more with everything of what I am choosing, what I'm involved in. And we're about to go to Uluru, and we're doing this Being the Source class from there. And I know I require this. So you have to, like when David says, what if the doing is nothing today? It's not about judging that. It's about acknowledging, maybe today's just about me and my body. What can I be today with me and my body? That actually generates wealth. It generates more wealth than you can ever imagine possible. It's a different reality.
It is. And it will invite you and show you possibilities that you have never, ever considered yet. And for me, that's the adventure of living, to tap into things I don't know yet. Where does curiosity come from? To explore things we don't know, not to create more of the same. So this is how I remind myself constantly, wait a minute. It's the unknown that makes living worth, but not copy pasting what is already there.
Yeah.
How boring.
I love it. So the people we have a bunch of people who are working with us, who gave us some questions, some quickies, which I looked at these, I glanced through some of them, and I was like, these are quickies. And I was like, so many of these are questions that we could really delve into in the class that we have coming up, right, which is for you, intermediate. The prerequisite is you have to have done the beginner's class. And I just want to say, if you sort of switch off to us right now because you don't have the prerequisites, please don't. It's like you can receive so much from this podcast. Right Riches for You has an Instagram channel, etc. There's always questions and different videos and everything on there. You can take action today to change your financial reality. That's on you. That is not on me and David. That is on you. Okay. You get to choose that. I even have a money energy pool on my YouTube channel that is absolutely free. You can listen to that over and over and over and over again. If you think I can't afford something, well, that's bullshit. It's like there is so much available for you to choose, but you have to choose it, or you can sit in this place of always the lack and the scarcity and bitching and moaning about what you don't have, or you get to choose a different reality. Again, that's on you. Okay. If you get annoyed with me and pissed off, good, it's working. Okay.
I love
So
it.
here's
Okay,
the questions. Okay. So number one is, what are some of the biggest misconceptions people have about wealth? These are quickies, as much as you
okay.
possibly can.
That wealth is something you need to work for. Wealth is something that you be, and you don't need money to be wealthy. And if you want to know more, come to class.
Yeah, I would say, and what I would add to that too is, most people think that wealth is always traveling first class and always, living in a penthouse, etc. It's not. Wealth is an energy that you be, that you can travel first class. You can also travel economy if you have to, and drink out of a plastic glass. It's an energy that you choose to be that allows more to show up. Okay. Number two is, how does someone know if they're functioning from lack, even if they have money? Me yesterday. But it's true.
Me the day before yesterday.
It's like you have this energy of okay, so for me, it's like I'm trying to remortgage a whole bunch of stuff. And what they're doing at the moment in various countries, but I can speak to Australia, is the interest rates were rising, which is fine. It's like, if I'm doing a loan and paying interest only, it's a tax deduction, etc. But what they started doing is I have to do principal and interest, which increases it a lot. So I am negotiating with a few different banks on remortgaging some things, and 2 banks declined yesterday, right? And I'm deemed unsafe or whatever bullshit that is. So I could make that more true and real as a reality, or this morning I was like, okay, there's another possibility. What other possibility is available? Like, what other possibility is available? And I don't have an answer as yet, but what I'm noticing is there's a different energy that I'm being with it all, rather than what I was being yesterday. I was doing like poor pitiful me yesterday, and everything is stressful. And today I am not. And can I tell you, it's much more fun to be me today than it was to do yesterday from lack.
Beautiful.
Do you have anything to add, David?
Well, hey, you'll always choose it once in a while. So what? Just notice when you do and then change it.
Yeah.
Easy.
And like I mentioned, even the energy pool, like if you're new to listening to this podcast and new to Access Consciousness tools, even if you've been around for 20 years, like literally grab the energy pool that I have that's free on money and just play that over and over again. Like this morning I went back to bed and I just laid down and I listened to the wind and the ocean, and I just allowed that to contribute to me, and had this, and asked for the space between my molecules. And I did an energy pool for 30 minutes this morning, and I have this lightness of myself. And we make money so fucking significant, and if anything you make significant in your life will and can control you. So if you make money more significant, more meaningful than you and your choices, guess what's going to control you? Money. Same thing. If you make a partner like, the most meaningful thing in the world, and you cannot survive without this person in your life, guess who gets to control you? They do. It's like you need to take lead of your own life, right? Don't make money, don't make other people anything more important than you and your choices. Okay. And just learn to laugh at yourself. Like, I'm not telling everyone I've got it right. I'm literally like laughing today about what I chose yesterday. And I also know that I was so tired. And like I said, I'm a really shitty person when I'm tired. I need to get over that. I don't know what that is, but you used to watch these movies and they go, some detective, and they're like, haven't slept for 48 hours because they're on this case. I'd be a mess. I'd be like, nah, no way. I've got to go sleep. Anyway. Okay, so next question. What are the key shifts required to allow more wealth into your life?
Well, I'm afraid there's just one choice.
And we both said at the same time, and we didn't plan that. So there you go. And can I say, sometimes you need some contribution with choosing. That's what access consciousness tools are for.
Yeah.
Use them. If you have any of these tools, please use them. Okay. There is so much available. David, well, you have a YouTube channel, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a
You
lot
have
of money stuff. Yeah. And
yeah.
just to give you one quick example of what we mean, because this just choose makes a lot of people angry. But what do we mean by that? So you are sitting around, you're hearing this, and then you look at all your finance and you go, yeah, but I still have to pay rent in 2 days. What the fuck? But that's the moment where you can keep worrying, or you say stop, and then you listen to that energy pull. That's the choice you have. You always can choose to stop going down the rabbit hole and then listen to an energy pull, do an energy pull. Check out the YouTube channel of Access Consciousness, of Simone, of me, Money. Shannon has a lot also on her YouTube channel. That's the choice you can make. Stop taking yourself down and do something different. Well, this is why we are doing this, to inspire you and give you the tools that you can play with. Will that energy pool immediately put $10,000 on your bank account? Maybe, but maybe not. But that's not what it's designed for. It's designed to change the energy, because a choice changes the energy. So new possibilities can show up. And that's literally choice.
Yeah, choosing. So what's the difference between creating wealth and accumulating money?
Well,
I
yes, go for it.
I would say, as we briefly mentioned before, and the misconception about wealth is an energy that you be. For me, it's like, I have accumulated money over the years and I have invested it, etc. And I went through probably like 6 or 8 months ago, I started to look at everything I was investing in, and I went, well, yep, tick. You did well in this reality, Simone. You've got, you've got these investments, commercial, residential, you've got stock portfolio, you've got all this stuff, you own your own house, tick, tick, tick. And I literally sat where I am now in my office and I went, is that what I desire? And then I started to look at, what is it that I desire? And for me, it's like, you can accumulate money, you can accumulate investments, etc. But for me, creating wealth is different. It's about creating a future that is not just about money. It's about joy. It's about, does it match the energy of what it is I'd like to have here on planet Earth? So one of the things I did was I actually sold one of my apartments, and I just changed where I was investing, and I invested more in El Lugar. And El Lugar is this property that we have in Costa Rica that is friggin' amazing, and my beautiful, amazing horse and many other horses are there. And to me, that matched the energy more of what I would like as a future. And it just had this more like the molecules in my body clanging together, because I was contributing to El Lugar. And it's just a choice. Again, it's just a choice. But for me, creating wealth is, you can also have everything and you can lose everything, and you still have a wealth of abundance in your world, because that's what you choose.
That's beautiful. For me, accumulating money is absolutely okay. I like doing it. And if you want to have financial freedom, I highly recommend to always have more money coming in than going out, and then you can accumulate the difference somewhere. Beautiful.
That is a really big thing, what you just said. Can I just say, and right riches for you, we'll talk about that, is like having more money coming in than is going out. That is one of the main things where people fuck themselves up, including myself, what I did. Like, I always had money coming in, but when I was in debt, and the second book I ever wrote, Getting Out of Debt Joyfully, I spoke about that, because I earned money. It wasn't like I was sitting at home twiddling my thumbs going, I can't find a job. No, I had a company. I had everything. I was just spending way more money than what I was earning. And it's such a key piece to have a look at that, and not to make it linear, but really be aware of it.
Be aware of it, and also be aware the easiest way out is to increase the inflow, not to get rid of the expenses. And
Yes,
that's the link to
absolutely.
wealth, because wealth is enjoying every moment of your life. Wealth is always having choice, with or without money. A wealthy person always has choice, but money is never the issue or the condition or the basis for that choice. They choose because they can. And it necessarily doesn't need to include money. A choice would be, no, I'm just relaxing at home today, not I'm going out and going for an expensive dinner or flying to my private island. That's all. This is all Hollywood stories. A true wealth means to always have choice, and money is never an issue. And it's always there because it's easier when you have the accumulation of money at your side, where you can always just, okay, I'll take it from here. Money makes your life easier, but it's not the foundation or condition for living.
No, that's not it's not where the power and potency is. Not in money. The power and potency is within you and your choices, as we mentioned before. So, David, you made a choice yesterday to have a look at your financial reality. And there's a tool that we have. And if you subscribe to the show notes, we'll put this link in there. It's one of the tools that we talk about of working out how much it costs to run your life. And there's an Excel spreadsheet that you can download, and you can do this yourself. But you did this yesterday, right? Did you end up finishing it?
Well, no, but my Airbnb is vacuum cleaned, windows are washed, laundry is ironed.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. So you started doing
I
this.
did the first round, but this is what I sent you the first numbers. You said, David.
I know. He sent me the first numbers of how much it cost to run his life, and I went, how so low? And he goes, oh, but I didn't include this or this or this. So I went, well, I do. I include all that. And he went, I'm avoiding this. So I love it. Now you cleaned your Airbnb. I usually just go and bake cookies or clean a cupboard out or something like that. But here's the thing.
Nope.
Can you see David and I are laughing? Okay. You have to acknowledge if you do stuff like that. Like, I've got to pack today. I'm only going away a week to Uluru. But do you know how long it's going to take me to pack? Because I will find all these other things that I've decided that I need to do today. But here's the thing. I give myself a day, because I don't want to pack in 1 hour and stress about it. I'd rather give myself all day and bake cookies in the interim or clean something out and then still end up packed. I'm aware that I'm choosing that. David's aware that he's choosing that, and will he get to what he wants to look at and how much it costs to run his life?
I will today, now that it's announced in public. This is how I self-manipulate.
We've also got a flight tomorrow that's quite a few hours. So I always find things like that on flights are pretty fun to give myself home play to do as well. But here's the thing. The first time I ever worked out how much it cost to run my life, because this is a tool and access consciousness that Gary Douglas gave, years ago. And the first time I ever did it, and I knew I was in debt, I sat down and I worked it all out, and I did it freehand. And I recommend you do this. And what do I mean by this is, when you do it freehand, you're going, okay, my car costs this, my electricity is this, da, da, da. And then if you can, get a profit and loss statement that is for 12 months, because then you can see what's true and real. And as an example, I might put down, okay, it costs, $300 a month for petrol in my car. But then if I look at a profit and loss statement, my car maintenance is all the gas, like petrol, but it's also the servicing I got, or even I get my car washed like every 2 weeks. So all of these things that I may not remember when I'm doing it freehand. And then now, instead of $300 a month, it's $450 a month that my car costs me. So then you put down $450 instead of $300, right? So the first time I did this and I looked at all of it, it was $8,000 Australian a month that it cost to run my life. And I remember I was living in an apartment in Brisbane, and I remember sitting in my apartment just going, holy shit, how am I ever going to make $8,000 a month? And I literally poured myself a glass of wine, sat on my kitchen bench and freaked out and stressed for like 10 minutes. Drank this glass of wine and I went, okay. And I was on my own and I went, okay, it's here, 8,000. You have a choice. You can either start to cut things out and make it less that it costs to run your life? Or, as David just mentioned, and my father, God bless him, taught me this, is what else can I create? So I went, okay, this is how much it costs to run my life. I'm not making nearly $8,000 a month. What else can I add to my life? What else can I add? What else can I add? And I was living in this apartment in Brisbane, and I was so excited and enthused about facilitating access as well. And I went, oh, what if I do, and we called them clearing nights. Every Wednesday I had at my house at 6:30 p.m. You could come for 45 minutes and I would talk about access and the tools of access, and it was free. After 45 minutes, we'd stop, we'd have tea, coffee, some biscuits, etc. And if you wanted to stay, it was $40 for about an hour and a half. And we would do what I called a clearing night, where we'd run the process, even just like, what does money mean to you? And as I say that now, you're even going to have some energy that comes up of like, what does money mean to you? And we would pock and pot it. What do you mean to money? Pock and pot it. What's your judgment of money? Pock and pot it, and run through these. And it could be on relationships or something. And I would do these clearing nights, $40 a person. Before I knew it, every Wednesday night, my apartment was like filled with people. And I went, oh my God, that was so easy to start receiving more money. But here's the thing, I got clear. Okay, it's $8,000. I'm not earning that much. Okay, I can either take away and live this pathetic life, or I can add. And I started adding more. What else can I choose? What action can I take that would allow this? So there was something about getting clear, David, on how much it costs to run my life that gave me this enthusiasm. And I'm going to say this energy of wealth creation to start taking action, to choose something more, to choose something different, and see what shows up. And every single time I've done this, I think the last time I did it was about 4 months ago. Every time I've done it, my life has changed so much. I mean, at one point I had, kids' school fees because I had my partner and a stepson. So your life changes. You have a mortgage, you have rent, you have kids' school fees, and then maybe you don't. So as your life changes, your expenses change. And every single time I've done this, within 3 months, I have earned that amount of money or more. It's when you start, and I think that wealth creation is so much about getting clear on what it is you're currently creating, what it is you're asking for, and taking that action, but not from stress, not from frantic, not from judgment, from choice, and from creating your life as ease.
Yeah, I was avoiding that clarity for a long time. I always had this idea clarity takes the magic away, because I know how it always works for so many years. It just always works. What I experience now is that clarity opens the door to even more magic than I know from the past. And that's what I'm so excited about. This is what I'm so enthusiastic about. That that unknown, what else is possible, that magic. We've done so much magic in the past, but that's not it. What if that was just the beginning? And what if there was always more and no goal to reach? Always just what's fun, what's more, what's unknown. That beyond, we all so enjoy. I'll have that financially as well. And I'll finish this. I'll get you the number tomorrow, maybe tonight already.
Okay, I love it. Well, we're going out to one of our favorite restaurants in the Sunshine Coast called Sales. So as we sit down, maybe you can tell me. I love that. That's your home play for today. So David, I've got one last question for you. Can you share, do you have a surprising money choice that created something beyond what you expected?
Yes, it is. And I can share that. When I started Access 9 years ago, I wouldn't fly first class, because why spend so much money if you can travel in comfort from A to B as well? And then I remember I called, I wanted to upgrade with miles, and it wasn't possible. And the guy said, yeah, but you can pay, the fare difference is $1,500. And I did. I was willing to pay for that. And since that, thank you for that question, because now I know since that I've always chosen first class. The money was always there. It has always worked out. It became my new standard, not as a must have, but as a choice wherever possible. And now I don't even, it became so normal. I don't even think about it. So something that was beyond for me before became this, yep, that's what it is, with no significance, with no drama, and especially there's never any money issue when I have to book flights.
Yeah.
So that one choice, and maybe because I'm an aviation geek of magnitude,
Yes, you
but
are.
that changed
Mm.
everything around money for me.
So I'd say a surprising money choice that I created that is created beyond what I could expect is buying a horse. Buying a horse at El Lugar in Costa Rica. That has changed so much for me. It's like, I have pictures of my horse Pluma up near my bed, and so big and on my phone, and big jokes like "Good night, Pluma," and having her in my awareness. But I know that it's contributed to me creating. I mean, it costs every month. It costs you money to have a horse, right? But it's like she's in her stall, she's eating, she's getting shoes, she's doing all this. She gives me so much joy. But what it's created in me is this reach, and to reach for more. Because for me, it's like I have such an energy of I'm having this. Like I've invested in another casa at El Lugar because I so believe in this place. And it's like, but I know it's so much to do with buying a horse there and having my horse there. So simple. So it's like, you could have gone to, with David's story and my story, you could go, oh, I can't afford first class, or I can't afford a horse. It's like, what if you decided you cannot afford, that if you chose it would actually change your financial reality? And everything that is where you destroy and uncreate it.
Right, wrong, good, bad, but POC, all 100 shorts, boys, poets, bases, Christians, and beyonds. And choose something you are excited about in your life, your passion, or it doesn't have to be flying or horses, and it doesn't have to be big, okay? It doesn't have to be big, significant. It's the underlying energy. If you make that choice, it removes some kind of limitation or a blockage
The
that you have put
hardwiring
in. It's that,
removes
yeah.
the hardwiring that you've created as your life.
And when that hardwiring is gone, woof, you go in all dimensions, all directions at the same time. You literally flood the universe with your demand. And how much more can you receive once you allow that to occur?
So David, let me ask you one final question. This is my question, is what, like, if you look at the name of this podcast is Choice, Change, and Action, what choices, what action, like what do you see yourself changing? What are you asking for your future with wealth?
More of those moments where I know I'm congruent with what I desire as life and living, where I would call it that financial worry-free zone, where I just know, and flirting with miracles and magic, and still having that roller coaster because I enjoy it, but on a miraculous level where I
Miracles,
enjoy
miracles, 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 miracles.
up and down and up and down, but you're not on the poverty line, on the living, on the living line where you go, oh wow, this and then this and then this. Okay, let's turn right and left. That's
Well,
drive.
something that you were on my veranda the other day, and we were chatting, and something you said was, and we were talking about different financial things and wealth and that, because one of the things we talk a lot about, business, money, wealth, like law, everything. I'll never forget the day we were riding a camel in Dubai, and you're downloading me with what Sharia law is while we're on the camel. And it's like, who talks about Sharia law whilst riding a camel? We do, and enjoy it,
Yes.
but we're always inquisitive. And one of the things that you said to me is, actually, I'm going to tell you two things. One, and David knows this, but there was a conversation we had at breakfast one day in Brazil when we were there. And I went up to David and we sat down at breakfast and I said, can you help me? And I was starting to freak out about the things I was choosing because they were more risky than most people would choose, right? They weren't normal. And David looked at me and went, do you have kids? And I went, no. He goes, do you have a partner? No. What are you trying to create the money for? And I was like, oh, it was like for the fun of it and the joy of it. And it got me to have a look at where am I playing it safe? And the other day on my veranda, you said, we were talking about some different investment choices. And you said how you like living the adventure. And so I went away from that and I was like, you don't have to take all these risks. Okay. This is not what I'm talking about. But I looked at where am I choosing normal so I can like sort of stay in and do human reality rather than what I know is possible. Like what adventure could I be choosing? And as David said, it doesn't have to be massive. It could be like just boop, 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 little adventures. It started opening a different door for me. And that's what I'm asking for. This, like, will it create the future that I desire with every choice that I choose?
Beautiful.
There you go. So David,
Beautiful.
we could, as usual, we could talk forever and ever and ever, but thank you. But if you want to come to our Right Riches intermediate class, which also it's nicknamed Choice for Wealth.
Yes.
If you want, that'll be in the subscription notes. You do have to have done a beginner's class to go to this class. And a choice for possibility class as well. Yeah. So, and a lot of you, my listeners, thank you. Actually, can I say thank you for listening? I'm so grateful, and I'm so grateful for all the feedback that you give me as well, and any notes that you send, etc. My team sends them on to me, so I do get to read all of your feedback, and I'm really grateful. Thank you, David. You are such a gift. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. We will have all the details about how you can contact David as well, and his amazing $10 a month, Travel Like David membership, because it's freaking brilliant. You should be on there. And so thank you. Is there anything else you want to leave the listeners with?
Well, I just want to say thank you for you and for this podcast. This is one of the choices I make. Instead of freaking out, I listen to your podcast. So thank you for creating it.
You're so welcome. Thank you. Well, I do this. I have a whole team of people who do the behind the scenes, and I'd like to take this moment to say thank you so much. You guys are friggin' brilliant to keep this moving. So, and next month in April, I'm pretty sure what I'm going to be doing is a lot of different, interviewing people or different podcasts to do with the Earth. Earth Day is the 22nd of April. I think every day is Earth Day, but it's a fun month to honor who I see in the world is actually, choosing and taking action that contributes to the earth. So
beautiful.
Look forward to that. So thank you, everybody. And thanks for being here. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.